Best described as a head-on collision between an itty-bitty Burnout and a tiny Trackmania Turbo, Hot Wheels Unleashed is an endearing arcade stunt racer that feels great and looks absolutely remarkable. With tracks creatively weaved through lavishly detailed, life-sized environments and brimming with a catalogue of cars spilled straight out of the toy bucket, developer Milestone's decision to double down on a brand of racing 64 times smaller than usual has been a consummate success. Highly accessible yet full of advanced techniques, devilish shortcuts and creative tools to master, Hot Wheels Unleashed is one of the best, most customizable and most imaginative arcade races I've played in at least a decade. Hot Wheels Unleashed recreates the world's most popular die-cast cars in their authentic scale, and in environments where they're dwarfed by barn-sized basketballs and boomboxes as big as buildings. This makes Hot Wheels Unleashed more in line with pint-sized peers like 1998's Hot Wheels Stunt Track Driver or 2007's Hot Wheels Beat That, as opposed to styleless duds like Hot Wheels Turbo Racing or Hot Wheels World's Best Driver, which simply supersized the toys to race them like regular cars. Staying tiny was a terrific choice, and not simply because the atmosphere is endlessly more charming at toy scale. The one-to-one recreations of Hot Wheels cars here are regularly nothing short of stunning. The range leans towards more recent models, or at least recent versions of classic castings, like the iconic twin mill and even a 50th anniversary version of the quirky Dodge Deora, one of the first 16 cars Hot Wheels ever made. There's also a handful of real cars in the mix, which I think is great for variety and perfect for anyone who may not be huge fans of cars shaped like giant hamburgers. The small selection of film and TV cars are easily my favourites though, and I don't expect I'll do much racing in anything but the Back to the Future DeLorean now that I've unlocked it. Finishing the campaign has given me some ultra-rare original models, which are great picks by Milestone. I do still have quite a few cars to unlock though, and doing so is slow going because cars are only purchasable a la carte from a selection of 5 random models, which rotates every 4 hours of play, not real time. That simply feels like too long. The only thing I want my kids to do for 4 consecutive hours is sleep. The remaining option is winning or purchasing blind boxes, which thankfully can only be bought with in-game currency, to try and get something different. Of course, the last time I saved up a pile of these, I opened 4 of the same car in the space of a few minutes, which was deeply unsatisfying. That said, the car models themselves are simply gorgeous, and every one I've collected so far is an unflinchingly faithful recreation of the miniatures they represent, down to the tiniest details. The texture differences between plastic and lacquered metal parts, the subtle mold lines left from the assembly process, the broad range of paint finishes, the stamped text beneath the chassis carrying the model name and production year. I'm still finding myself just rotating them around, stopped in my tracks by how fantastic they look. As impressive as they are out of their boxes, they look even better after some door handle to door handle action out on track. Here's where they really start to resemble the toy cars strewn around my youngest son's room, chipped, scratched and play-worn by the demands of their 7-year-old automotive overlord. Cars correctly lose paint on their vulnerable corners and edges, faint scratches appear on larger flat surfaces, black plastic is revealed under the silver coating, and printed tampos are partially rubbed away. Under the right light, child-sized fingerprints can be observed, especially on windscreens, and even their plastic tyres become ringed with the kinds of gouges a pristine Hot Wheels car will pick up after an afternoon of pounding the pavement. Milestone's success in making the cars look so credible is a huge part of what makes Hot Wheels Unleashed so joyful to play. This ridiculously good level of detail also extends to the environments themselves, from the scuffed and etched surfaces of the iconic soft plastic tracks to almost unnoticeable flourishes like air bubbles underneath the hastily applied guardrail stickers. The backdrops are excellent too, especially the vast cityscape buried in cloud that surrounds the construction site. What really sells it is the outstanding lighting, which regularly comes from multiple sources all around each map, whether that's the neon of a jukebox, harsh fluorescent tubes, or the glaring sun itself. The lighting seats the cars into the environments outstandingly well. The level of granular detail seems to speak volumes about how deeply everything has been considered here, and it all combines to create an extremely believable miniature world. Okay, Luke, you're probably saying, it's pretty and it tugs at the heartstrings of the Hot Wheels faithful, but how does it play? Fair, and you've probably been waiting for the other shoe to drop, but in a surprise twist, Hot Wheels Unleashed handles very well actually. Its arcade-typical brake-to-drift racing is intuitive and easy to pick up, but there's a lot of nuance hidden in its air controls. Once mastered, or at least moderately tamed, the air controls can be exploited to uncover sneaky shortcuts, sail over opponents, or salvage a misdirected jump. Tracks range from simple to highly technical, but track design is brilliant across the board. Constructed with curving and twisting stretches of Hot Wheels tracks but linked with segments of the environments themselves, one moment you'll be power sliding across orange plastic, and the next you'll be whizzing across benches, air vents, shelves, and the floor itself flanked by tiny cones. Particularly impressive is the use of every axis, with magnetic track making vertical climbs, drops, and even racing across the roof possible. It means that while 6 maps doesn't sound like a lot on paper, in practice, the way Hot Wheels Unleashed utilizes the layers of each level and every nook and cranny they contain keeps it feeling fresh throughout the duration of its mostly kid-friendly campaign. Every event has a lower-end goal that will reward you for achieving and allow you to continue, but there are tougher goals for completionists, and some of the later time trials really force you to search for high-risk shortcuts. I can only speak anecdotally, but so far Hot Wheels Unleashed has done a good job at entertaining both kids under 10 and a 40-year-old car nerd. Although I feel like a few more race types would have been nice. Pursuits in little cop cars or eliminations or just something else. As it stands, there are just races and time trials, and the online options seem especially barren as a result. That said, my kids have taken to playing a makeshift brand of tag in split screen on the floors of the maps. Split screen is 2-player, not 4, sadly, but it runs very smoothly on Xbox Series X and has been an absolute hoot. I thought about letting my son interject here, but all he'd contribute is unrestrained cackling. Even if you do get tired of the available tracks, Hot Wheels Unleashed features an extremely deep custom track editor to let you build and share your own. It probably took me a full afternoon to come to grips with the tools, which are quite complex, but once I really learned how to bend the editor to my will, I was able to create Mount Barfarama, a monster that wrapped itself around and through virtually every piece of furniture in my Hot Wheels themed basement. Fun, fast, and damn near photorealistic at times, Hot Wheels Unleashed is a surprising and brilliant arcade racer. Carefully detailed, highly customizable, and buoyantly uncynical, this toy racer defies all expectations with remarkable attention to detail, excellent track design, and an accessible handling model that still rewards high skill. The racing may be tiny, but make no mistake, this game is enormous fun. For more recent racing verdicts, check out our reviews for WRC 10 and F1 2021. And for everything else, stick with IGN.